I'm early to my own live, so I'm very proud of myself. I'm officially 2 minutes early and I have wine. You might be thinking it must be near the middle of the day in Mexico. It is. However, I decided that because this is a pub and it would be a bit lame if I turned up with a bloody coconut water, that I best join you in drinking. I do apologise I apologise for all sorts. Well, I don't apologise for anything I've ever said. Obviously, that would be ridiculous. I do apologise for some things and something else that's made me giggle. So you know when you get, you buy a new bikini, this might freak some people out actually, and then you know when you get like will boys know this? Does it happen in men's trunks? That's a really good question. Okay, boys, when you buy a pair of swim trunks or budgie smugglers, do you get a lining thing that stops your bollocks touching the cloth that you're buying in case you take them back? I don't know if you do. Anyway, girls do, so that we don't ooze on a bikini bottom when we're about to buy it. Okay, the Katie's Arms took a strange turn right there off the bat, didn't it? Anyway, stuck to my kitchen table here in Mexico that was probably cultural appropriation right there, is the sticky bit out of my bikini bottom, and it just caught my eye. So I'm just sharing it with you. Boys, if you don't know what one of these is, that's massively sexist, isn't it? Are they just saying that only girls' bits are disgusting and you're fine to rub your penis on everything? This is what they stick in the bottom of pants and bikini bottoms before you buy it, so that your vagina doesn't come into contact with anyone else's vagina, unless you want it to, like at the Grammys, where you can put your vagina on someone else on stage. I digress. Are we nearly there yet at the start of the hour? No, that's what this is. Now, why it was stuck to my kitchen table, God only knows. Let's pass on that. And let's go back to topic. So I apologise for, number one, not being here when I should have been, which was yesterday. What happened, I thought, silly me, that in Mexico it was sunny all the time, and that turns out to be a monstrous lie. When it rains here, it doesn't just sort of rain, like we know rain, like we live in perpetual greyness, and that's why people are such miserable bastards most of the time, because we just endlessly wake up in grey, surrounded by grey people eating generally quite grey food. Here in Mexico, when it rains, as you will know if you've been, it absolutely chucks it down. It's like someone just dropped a sodding great reservoir on your head. I was on a bus, don't ask me why, sat with a bunch of Mexicans, excellent, and the bloody sky fell down. So the bus is surrounded, I'm in a moat effectively, or on a lake in a bus, and I was supposed to be on the live, and then I didn't have a way of telling you because I had no Wi-Fi. The man next to me on the bus was carrying a chicken. And so for 4 hours, which I was stuck on the bus journey for, I was sat next to a man and his chicken, which was a new experience for me, but I kind of loved it. So apologies for not being here. And cheers to everybody for supporting this. Cheers to everybody supporting the Katie's Arms. I think it's great, actually. And I think what we'll do when we're allowed, also screw being allowed, is we will make corners of bars the Katie's Arms. I'll just turn up there, essentially, and then anybody that wants to can also come. Clearly in Wales and other places they'll try and ban that, because I will instantly turn you into an Islamophobic, misogynist, sexist figure of hate. But I think we'll definitely have Katie's Arms corners. And I am going to get in touch with Tim from Spoons, who I know, and see if he'll let us set up a Katie's Arms amongst Weatherspoons. Because A, it'll be cheap, and B, I'm quite cheap, and C, we can all have a laugh. Right, wait one. I also have to correct the record, because clearly we can't be having libel or defamation against me, because I am the queen of libel and defamation in the sense that I've been taken to court for it and lost my home. Anywho, that's what can happen over a tweet if you're on the wrong side politically in the UK. It is absolutely defamation that people were suggesting last week I was drunk or had had a few drinks. People said I'd been on the tequila. And actually, if I was, brilliant, go me, and sobbed a lot of you. But I wasn't. So my theory there is, when you get out of the absolutely catastrophically claustrophobic is what I want to say, hold on. Catastrophically claustrophobic Great Britain, you try it, it's bloody hard. it must release something in you. Maybe it's like endorphins, maybe it's like, I don't know what it is, some sort of miniature freedom orgasm thing. So that's what went on. So I wasn't actually drunk, hadn't been drinking, and that would have been absolutely perfect if I was, because everybody should do what the shitting hell they need to do to get through this. But I hadn't been. That's just what life is like when you're released from being locked down and it turns you into a psycho. Now, one of the great things about being here, amongst many other great things, we're all going to come here. Mexico is absolutely where everyone must come immediately. It's brilliant. I found a solution to the mask bullshit. And let me show you. I'm not putting it on because I'll sweat like a bloody paedophile in a school playground. I don't think that is an appropriate expression. This. Now, I don't know if any of you know El Nacho Libre. No? I'm going out into the wilderness. Oh, stretchy pants? No? Losing everyone? Alone in this? Okay, so if El Nacho is your like favourite movie ever, which it's our family's favourite movie, like we all adore it to bits, and Ignacio, I just love every character in it. Anyway, I bought this, which is literally on sale. So you can either get a PCR test here in Mexico, or you can buy one of these, like that's, or you can get a mango PCR test, or a mask like this. So my plan is, when I get on the next airplane, is that this will be my mask. And when I'm told to put my mask on by some slightly overweight air stewardess who thinks she can still fit in the uniform that she can't really fit into because she, hasn't fessed up to the fact that she's put on a few kilos under lockdown, this is the mask that I plan to wear. And so we'll see how that goes. And I will, of course, update you on that. I'm not sure if it's CCP compliant, but actually sod off to the CCP anyway, because we all know they're talking a load of shit. I just met a lovely we're supposed to do questions. Now, can we remember that? I hope so. Although we did try and do questions last week at the Katie's Arms, as you'll remember, and it was essentially just a load of people either perving, trying to get me to give them a blowjob, or asking if I'll marry them or sleep with them. And that continued for quite a long time after the Katie's Arms closed. I will try and go to questions. So do put your questions there. But if they just involve sex or sexual positions, I don't know, maybe also think of something else to ask me as well, like as in addition to, because, it's good to chat about other stuff, isn't it? Just as opposed to just your sexual frustrations that you might have during lockdown. I met a lovely lady today in the street here in this fishing village that I'm in. And brilliantly, actually, as I've gone about the place, I've met quite a lot of people that either know me or recognise me or, want to say hello. That is one of the really great things about, I want to say one of the great things about being me. One of the great things about being me. One of the great things about being a little bit known is that it takes away a lot of the British shyness that we have. So like if you saw a stranger in the street and maybe wanted to speak to them, you might not, so they don't look like a weird stalker. So that all goes with me because people see me, they know me, or they think they know me, so they can say hi, and they'll know I'll always say hi because I chat to anyone. I'll chat to the wall, to be honest, that we can see. I'll chat to a phone. So anyway, met a lovely lady from London who's here. A lot of people who are here were stuck here. So they were travelling to like Brazil or wherever, and then lockdown happened and they ended up being stuck almost on the right side of things, because how brilliant to end up stuck in Brazil or wherever. So occasionally I'm going about the place, then there's just, oi Hopkins, oi Katie. Happened today with a lovely lady who's here. And she's invited me to her CrossFit class, which I'm excited about because then we can compare biceps, or I don't know, what do people do at CrossFit? Obsessively CrossFit something. Climb walls, do handstands, jump up and down in boxes, whatever. So we're talking about that. I'm agreeing to go to CrossFit class with her. And she just casually says, I said, I'll pedal there on my bike. And it's, freaking early in the morning because all people that do PT are psychopaths. And I'm pedaling there on my bike. She said, so just watch out for the crocodile. Sorry, pardon, what? Just watch out for the crocodile. So just outside where I'm going to go and do CrossFit here in Mexico, there's a fucking great crocodile. He's supposed to be like 8 meters long. He just hangs outside the CrossFit studio. I mean, I think that crocodile's probably a bit of an arse because CrossFit people are quite thin usually, or skinny or lean, like they go into that whole lean thing. So I'm not think he's going to get much for his money. But anyway, I'm going to go to CrossFit and I'm going to be careful of the crocodile. Enough. That's my Mexican update for you. Now, much more importantly, I wanted to talk to you about today in the UK and how much I love everybody who is at the protest or has been at the protest, or even if you thought about being at the protest but couldn't quite make the protest. I just love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody. Not that you went for me, but I'm just going to thank you anyway. To everybody who went to Hyde Park and gathered and is maybe still out there protesting, or not even so much protesting, but just being together to show that lockdown is utter bullshit, that you don't want to be locked down, that you don't believe in face masks but don't mind if someone else does, and that you just want to be free and get back to life as you know it. I just love all of you that have gone or supported people that have gone or have passed on great messages. Please do this. To somebody that's gone, just say thank you. Just let them know that it mattered to you, and let them know that what they've done has really made you feel better, because that's such the important thing. So many people email me telling me that they feel like they're on their own, that they're alone. Look at the crowds. People will play it down and say there was a handful of people. They always do that shit with stuff that isn't left wing or some sort of, Black Lives Matter march. So many people who took, it costs a lot of money to get to London. It's a freaking effort to get to London. You could have got arrested getting to that, and people still showed up. That's the people. That's Britain that I know and love. That's the British people that I could just, cuddle to death. They're the same people that went out and voted Brexit despite being told not to. It doesn't matter about the politics of it, it's just the honesty of the damn thing. These are the people I know are out there, and I keep trying to tell people you're not on your own, because look how many they are. And they were just joyous, they're singing, they're laughing, they're chanting, and you know very well that the thing is they're going to be looking around that street, feeling better, because they realise that they're not the only one thinking the way they're thinking. And when your family and friends and chat group make you feel like you're the only one, you're not. Play them the bloody footage of Hyde Park and wait, if I'm just the mad one, who are all these people? These people want to make their own choices as well. Thank you very much to my girlfriend also for this. You do you. I prefer it to the sort of feminazi t-shirts that say, go fuck yourself, or I don't know, what do they say? My vagina's made of steel. Is it? I don't need to know that shit. Maybe it is, darling, but just, don't tell everybody and don't put it on a t-shirt. You do you. Kind of the perfect messaging for our time, which is, I don't really give a shit what you want to do with your life as long as you're not violating or hurting someone else. You do you and let me do me. And I think that probably applies to a great deal of us here at the Katie's Arms. So yes, thank you for this. And thank you to every single person who went out and walked, marched. You can call it a protest, but it's not really. It's just a bunch of people getting together to feel better. That's what that is. It's not really a protest, because we're all sick of protests, right? If I hear about another protest, probably poke my eye out with a blunt spoon. It's not really a protest. It's people gathering to feel better. And we'd probably do it in a pub if we were allowed. That's why we're sat here, right? We wouldn't go for a walk from Hyde Park and pay a train fare and be, have to get back at the end of the day. We just go to the pub. But because Boris Johnson potato in a wig, you utter twat, you're not opening the pubs, we have to go for a walk together to feel a bit better. So the main message there, open up the bloody pubs. So thank you to anybody and everybody pushing out messages, supporting people doing that. I think really important things. It shows we're not on our own, as we've discussed. I think it's really important that it rejects the narrative, or so this shit that we're being told all the time by the BBC, by the presenter, by Zoe Ball, this person, that person, look, here's a man dancing in the street because he's so happy he had his friggin' vaccine. Here's a man who just happened to bring his cello along to have his pissing vaccine, and now he's going to give us a cello pissing concerto because he's so happy he had the vaccine. Jesus Christ, we're so surrounded by that the idea that you can have this other thing going on, this walk from Hyde Park to show that there is something else going on. There's another story. You're just not allowed to hear it. It's just brilliant. So I've really loved that. I also think it's when they organise the next one, and I will obviously push that messaging out as hard as I can. I'd bloody love to be there. I feel bad that I'm not there. I feel guilty, if that helps anybody, that I'm in Mexico and not at that protest to cuddle everybody. I'm cuddling people here. Does that help? I'm cuddling Mexicans? No? Okay. Anyway, when I get back, I'll be there at the next one. If it's me and Piers Corbyn together, that'll be a right laugh. I worry about his facial hair, just because facial hair always reminds me of Velcro, and I just worry that someone's going to Velcro themselves, like to my nipple hair or armpits or leg hair or something. That I've always had that about beards. It's probably not accurate or true or biologically representative. But I do worry about that. Anyway, I will be at the protest as soon as I'm back, and I will cuddle everybody and smear myself up against everybody, including Piers Corbyn, if that's what's required. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I wanted to also talk about, I just saw Comic Relief happened. I imagine it was about as funny as frickin' my mother-in-law, and she's dead. About as funny as Ebola. I saw that there was some criticism of Amanda as well. I can understand that too. We'll park that, I think. Other than that, I can tell you, in real life, she does honestly look like a lollipop. So there's a talk, isn't it, about skinny people looking like lollipops. It's really, really true. And you have no concept of it if you're like a normal person like me or you or the next lady you meet in Tesco's or Sainsbury's. That's no concept of it. These people that you see on your TV screens, they are properly like lollipops. Like, you know, if you took a pen and just put a massive circle on the end, that's what famous people actually look like in real life, because their bodies are so tiny that it makes their head look massive, and you do wonder how they don't fall over as they walk. Also, the inability to speak is when you had Botox done too quickly before you went on TV, because you got paranoid that you're going to look old. So that's why people can't speak and they lose the ability to move their mouths. Some people have been asking as well, I noticed, as well as accusing me a bit of being an old drunk, some people have been accusing me of having a lip job. A, when would I have had time to have a freaking lip job done? Like I know I'm in Mexico, but I am quite busy. And B, no, I haven't. Look, would you have these wrinkles or this nose or whatever if you were going to have work done, or these tiny boobs? No, you'd probably have these and that. And so I haven't had work done. I think my lips maybe, I don't know, maybe they're closer to the camera than they used to be. Maybe it's like a perspective thing. Anyway, I haven't had work done, but Amanda does look like a lollipop in real life. Yes, she's had more work done than you can believe. And the weird thing is about, and you won't realise this either unless you've met her or know her, is that work on your face and things is done so it looks great like this on Instagram or whatever they go on. I don't know what these people do. What does she do? TikTok in a bikini, I think, doesn't she? Just shows her tits or nipples, whatever. Doesn't matter. Perfect. Well done, Amanda. That's amazing. But the thing is, when you see them in real life, they actually look weird. So it's on camera, they look kind of great and in a dress and whatever, but in real life, they look kind of weird. So that's the Amanda Holden backstory. People have been asking me for this gossip, which I feel a bit bad about, because these are things that I just know. But I would quite like, I'd like to, that wouldn't work, so it'd be a photo. I'd like to get a picture and show you the reality of what I'm saying. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, wait one, I've got a drink, can't drink and talk. Unless I could get subtitles across my tiny tits, but that wouldn't be many subtitles, would it? So, someone's saying, oh bless, I wish I was in Mexico. Bloody, I wish you were all here too, darlings, because then we could meet and have drinkies, and it's very lovely. Someone said, you were at the protest today. Oh my even goodness. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you didn't go for me, and I'm being like a mother who's like, oh, well done you. But I just thank you for being there. Thank you for walking those streets. And remember that I'm going to get emotional. Every person that saw you is somebody that you helped. So thank you for that. And it pushes back against this overwhelming wave. People feel that they must have this bloody vaccine or whatever. Some of you might have seen the YouTube video I did about the scripting that's been pushed onto the NHS to script so that they know how to manipulate you. So if you're 50, they know how to manipulate you best. Or if you're 80, they know to make it about a national effort. And if you're young, they make it about immediate validation. All of these different mechanical kind of levers. You know, like if you're in the Israeli Defense Force, literally the hottest people alive. I mean, seriously. But they understand pressure points. So if they want to inflict immediate pain on you, they can just go for the pressure points on you. I've learned some of that stuff. It's quite exciting. Israeli Defense Force don't say like serve to leave, like we do in the British military. They say, follow me, which I love because they're going to go first and you just follow them. Anyway, pressure points. You can see I go off on one. Pressure points, that's what the NHS are doing to you. The behavioural scientists know where your pressure points are, and when they're trying to force you to have this vaccine, they're using the pressure points of guilt or immediate gratification or national endeavour to make you feel like you should have it and be compliant. So if you're feeling that pressure, there's a reason you're feeling that pressure, and it's because it's deliberately done. Somebody on here saying, love you so much, Queen Hopkins. That's just darling. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're all too good to me, and I probably don't thank you as much as I should. Instagram's become really important to me. I don't give a shit about follower numbers. I don't give a shit about anything Instagram's trying to do. I couldn't give a toss about people trying to promote shit on here. I just love this group of us because I think it's really helpful for other people to connect with people who think the same as them or different to them, or are open to thinking anything, or just want you to get the frick on with your life. And if your life's gone to rat shit, we'll also be pretty supportive of that as well, because no one's damn perfect. I've cocked up more things than most people, as we all acknowledge. I'm pretty proud of those things, actually. And I believe that the more naughty things you've done in life, and by naughty I can mean from being, sort of facing prison as I was, to being arrested as I have been, to taking someone else's husband as I have on numerous occasions. We can all do very naughty things, but I think the only people that are perfect are people that hide those, and I haven't really hidden any of that. I am working on the new book, and the reason I'm talking about this is because people ask me when they're going to be a new Rude, and Rude 2 is ruder, so we need to find a title for it. I will be getting you guys to help me by giving me the worst criticisms you can, because we put those on the cover, because I can't bear people that have books that go, oh my god, this person's so fantastic and this book's just great. I mean, fuck that. Much better to write, Katie's a complete twat, but we love her. That'll be pretty awesome. And so anyway, I'm writing the damn book, and I'm sending it in to a guy who's helping with my spellings, because I'm an arse. And he wrote back the other day and asked to speak to me, and he said, Katie, look, I think you've got quite a lot of unresolved issues, and I don't know whether you want to put those issues all down in a book. And I was like, yes, of course I do. That's the whole point. That's what Rude was. That's what Ruder will be. It's just all my worst bits, and I share them so that people can either feel better about themselves or avoid them. Anyway, that's what's gone on, but the editor got scared about how many issues I have. Congratulations, I'm just looking at everybody who's either got through a whole bottle of wine, proud, or are well on their way. Somebody here saying, yes, Nacho. Hold on, Nacho is just here. Maybe we could do next week in this, although I'll be sweating my absolute tits off. Right, hold on, I'm going to try and do questions. This could go tits up because I could probably smash my phone on this lovely Mexican floor. Oh God, right. Views on, do you know what, darlings? I'm actually going to use my pen here. Katie, no one wants a shag. Oh, how rude. That's probably worse, isn't it? So a couple of things I want to say. Number one, thoughts on Richard Tice. We'll do that. Thoughts on Boris's flat refurbishment. What an arsehole. Seriously, that girlfriend, I wouldn't want her to meet me anytime soon, especially not with her pressure points on show, because she might feel some pain. I don't mean that as an intimidation or a threat or anyway a reason to take down my Instagram, but that bird looks like she's never really lived it, does she? Boris's bird has got this, my husband would call her a Doris, and it's exactly right. She's got that weird flowery flouncy thing going on that she's never really had to clear a shower drain, has she? She's never really worked at Wimpy. I worked at Wimpy. £1.40 an hour in a red dungarees. Anyone else? Wimpy? Hello? Anybody? The truth. Okay, I'll come to your question. Who's that, Matthew? I'll come to that in a minute, Matthew. Hold on. I'm writing down, look, like a good little journalist. Don't laugh. Yeah, she's a bit flowery. Never worked in a Wimpy. I worked in Wimpy for £1.40 an hour. Yeah, in a red dungarees. Do you remember the red dungarees? And my red dungarees were like, I think a size too short, or either just, I am freaking tall. So they used to chafe, but up my foof, So when I was serving a bender in a bun, you know, it was a bit of a chafing situation. And I don't know if you remember the tables at the Wimpy, but they were literally at crotch height. So when I served a bender in a bun, I was serving it at crotch height with my foof, kind of, you know, what's that stuff called that you put between your teeth? Nope, it's gone. Anyway, yes, that was the effect. Okay, we don't need to go into that. We were talking about Boris's girlfriend. She's never worked in the Wimpy, has she? She's never worked in McDonald's, has she? She's never cleaned a toilet or a shower drain. And that, I think, is the problem behind why she wants wallpaper that has like gold in it. No bastard should be paying for that. Conservative donors are paying for that, and they're doing it so they get the chance to blow Boris. That's how the system works. That's the system in the newspapers, that's the system in government, that's the system. Whoever's got the most cash, whoever gets the closest to giving Boris a blowjob, pays for shit that they want, including his girlfriend, and they get a sniff at power or a sniff at contracts. That's just the system. Anyway, not to be bitter. Have Piers Morgan and I got engaged? No, he has a tiny willy. And point B, he's really fat. And tiny willies, fat boys, I've told you before, can't do that. Richard Tice is a concern to me. The only person on the planet who thinks he's more fabulous than Richard Tice is Richard Tice when he's looking in a mirror. Richard Tice is so in love with himself. I can't tell you, he just thinks he's absolutely superb. The idea that he'll be a leader of anything, no, he just wants people to love him. He wanted to be Farage. He knows he's better looking than Farage, who has shit teeth and bad breath. I know Katie Price said I had bad breath, you know. But no, Richard Tice is just an ego on a stick, and he has hair. And that's so often the way with older men. If they still got hair, they think they're hot. He's not. He'd bore you shitless within 1 second because he only wants to know things that are about him. And that's the problem with the mayoral race as well. If you have a look at the mayoral race, have a look at the contenders. I tell you, we should do a really good parody of it. It is basically The Apprentice, but like a shit version. It's got so many people who want to be famous and have their 5 minutes in the limelight. And I know I sound like a bit like a hypocrite, but I can see it in others. So all these boys who want to basically willy wave, you know, Fox, Tice, whomever, Curtin, who the frick else is running? You know, who isn't running? Who isn't running? I'd love to see the mayoral candidates going across that bloody bridge I had to walk over. Dong da 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 dong da. And then you'd have, and then London the search is on. Looks for its new mayor. The search is on. Dong da dong da dong da dong da dong da dong da dong. And then you could have like the guy from London Real bouncing along his empty suitcase behind him, and then Lawrence Fox with a cigarette with freedom tattooed on his arm. He's a character. So, you know, you could basically make a brilliant version of The Apprentice with all the mayoral candidates and like the twat Sadiq Khan, except you'd have to get the camera, if I was working camera, and then if you're going to film Sadiq Khan, you'd have to go down to like knee high because he's such a short twat. In fact, instead of a suitcase, you know, like apprentices have those shit suitcases that are empty, he would have one of those shitty little, what are those shitty little suitcases called that children have in airports? I can't remember the name of them anymore. They basically ride on them. Everyone thought it was a great trunky. I don't like that name because I've got a big nose. Trunky. And so the trunky used to be a great idea, and all you see now is mothers bloody pulling them through airports because the kids don't give a shit. Sadiq Khan on The Apprentice would need a trunky. There's the comedy right there. Everybody on here is saying thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who went to the protest today. People are saying they were there. People are saying they are proud of everybody there today. People are saying they were emotional for the people that turned. If you went to that protest today, people on here, and therefore people out there, bloody love you. And if you wondered if it was the right thing to do or could you afford it, I bloody love that you went. And people, my mother is working so hard to save people, and now what's she going to do with all these protesters? For Christ's sake, I'm so done with the NHS heroes bollocks. Never went clapping at the sky. Clapping at the sky was a load of bollocks, and I'm so thrilled to see people out there walking instead of clapping at the pissing sky. And I think a few too many people got a bit too carried away about being called heroes for doing the job they were bloody well paid to do. And a bunch of small business owners would bloody well love to still have jobs to go to, but they don't have them because they're not on cushy public sector jobs with cushy pensions. Sorry, did I rant there? I apologise for that. Right, Katie. The fact we need to protest to leave our own house, isn't that it? So we just have a couple more minutes here. I'm determined not to bore people to death at the Katie's Arms at any time soon. This episode really is, or this, whatever this is, what is this? This rant? This old lady ranting with wine is a big cheers. Cheers to everybody who protest. Seriously, it gets me going every time, and it isn't the wine. Thank you to everybody who put their little feet on the floor today in London and made the cameras recognise there's another conversation in the UK that is not supportive of the lockdown. I will do anything for any of you at any time to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for joining in, for your support, for your funny comments, for your sort of ribbing at me, which I think is very important. We all still have to find a way not only to remember we're all together, we all still have to find a way to laugh at and with each other and laugh at ourselves, because one of the things they tried to push out of us was our sense of fun. The shit they think is funny is comic relief, and that's about as funny as my, yes, dead mother-in-law or Ebola. So thank you all so very much. I will try so hard to be much more where I said I was going to be next week. I actually don't know where that is just yet. If it's on a bus surrounded by water next to a man with a chicken that he's about to kill, I'll let you know. But let's try and do this again. Let's try and go for 8 o'clock next Friday, so the normal time. And then if any of you need anything or want to get in touch, or I can help anybody, Katie at katiehopkins.co.uk, Katie at katiehopkins.co.uk. And I'm still pushing out the cameos for anybody who's down. You can find me on Cameo. The money goes to the people that cured me from my epilepsy, so I'm not trying to push some weird thing. I just mean if anybody needs a Hopkins hug or some piss taken out of them, I'm your woman. So thank you to everybody. I will see you next week here at the Katie's Arms. And we will find a place in a pub, and we will make this happen in real life as well. So thank you all very much indeed for joining me. And fuck staying safe, darlings. Get out there, take risks, live, laugh, love.